Hey guys, Lyra Linx here, and I'm back after a while with another Stories with Lyra. Today I wanted to talk about, since I'm recovering from a cold currently, the time that I was the sickest in my whole life. So if you're squeamish regarding anything like throw up or uh number two, then this might not be the video for you. So this took place, I believe, my senior year of high school. It might have been my junior, but I can't recall exactly. And I was at the church at the start of this day. I was out with my grandma. We went to church, and I was supposed to be singing up on stage. So we went and did singing practice, and everything was fine and dandy at first. But then I started feeling a little bit upset with my stomach and I needed to go to the bathroom, so I excused myself and I went. And then that is where the horrors began. I started to have some slight diarrhea. It's kind of a little gross even for me to talk about, but I don't know. Seeing as how I was sick, I thought it would be an interesting story to talk about. The fact that it's not as bad as some other things I've went through. Anyway, I kind of just brushed it off, washed my hands, went back out there, but I was feeling worse and had to return to the bathroom. And, they all questioned me to see if I was alright and everything, and I was just not feeling good. So I told my grandma about it, and she was going to just take me home because I was not in a good condition. So we got in the car, we got all my stuff and drove off. And along the way, I needed to go again bad. So she stopped at a gas station where my mom works. And I got out there. She wasn't working at the time, but I just used the restroom and emptied my guts yet again. Also, I was starting to have some spit up. I had some slight spit up at church, and it was also getting worse by that point. So I got back in the car, and we managed to get all the way back home successfully. And she delivered me back to my parents. We let them know what was going on and that I wasn't feeling well. And from that point on, the rest of my day was going to be a nightmare. I was laying in bed in my room, and I had some bags nearby in case I needed to throw up and couldn't make it to the bathroom. And I had to get up a lot to go to the bathroom because I just was not keeping anything in my system through the mouth or, you know. So it was starting to get pretty bad. I had to go on this back and forth journey, and it felt like maybe I should just stay in there. Throwing up, using the restroom, and it just carried on like that. And because I was sick, there was no way that I was going to keep any food down, so I wasn't given any food. But at the same time, I was not having water either, and maybe that was a mistake. I don't know if it just didn't cross my mind to get any, if my parents thought that I shouldn't have water either, because that would just come up. But I didn't have any liquids. And so one of the times I went into the bathroom, I ended up getting so dehydrated that I was starting to get dizzy. And so while I was sitting, I started to feel this dizziness. And for a split second, I blacked out and my head hit the floor of the bathroom. And so my father heard me fall, and in case I was not in decent condition, woke up my mother, who was sleeping in another room, and had her go in to make sure that I was all right. And from that point on, through the rest of the night, I was so weak and dehydrated that I could not do anything myself. My mom had to basically carry me back to my room, and she took care of me, got me some water, and instructed me just to sip it. I was so weak, I just felt like I could pass right out of consciousness again. But she kept me going. And eventually it got to a point where I was not looking too great, pretty gross, and she decided that it would help me to take a bath. And never have I been so embarrassed in my life. I, as a senior who should be able to take care of myself, was having my mother draw me a bath and help me to bathe. And I just felt completely ridiculous. But I legitimately could not move on my own. It was so bad. I'd never been that sick. I couldn't move, and so she helped me out, got me to bed, and I continued drinking liquids. And eventually, the nightmare of going back and forth to the bathroom and feeling weak and like I was gonna pass out was over. So, that is the sickest I've been in my life. I also am prone to have sugar drops if I do not eat properly. So I've had other experiences such as this. There was one day where I didn't have anything except ice cream to eat when my mom and I were going out to practice for driving. And so when I went over to my friend's house after that, I ended up falling down at the top of his stairs and I threw up on his stairs. It's extremely embarrassing. And my boyfriend of the time cleaned up my puke for me, and I felt absolutely awful that he had to do this, and like it was so disgusting. And he had to lead me by the hand down the stairs to where my friends could then pick me up and carry me off into a car to take me home. And at that point, all that I wanted, because I was so sick and feeling like I was just gonna pass out, was my boyfriend, but he ended up staying behind. Whatever, things happen. And so he then, when we got to my house, sort of propped me up and helped me get over to my house. I can't remember if he propped me up or carried me. I guess that's not very important. But my parents were freaking out. They wondered what happened to me, explained the sugar drop thing. And so, because of that, they tried to get some food into me so that I would not be in worse condition. And it seems like every time I have a sugar drop, what they want to do is give me fruit cups. And so I just remember these peaches, and they came right back up. There was no way I was going to keep anything down. And I was just leaning back in my chair, trying to rest and just feeling awful. There is no worse feeling than the feeling of being so out of control like that. When I sugar drop, it's like I'm completely losing control of circumstances, and that's terrifying. I've been afraid before of dying like that. That would be terrifying. I also remember a time in the summer where I was sitting in my parents' office, hanging out with them, talking to them, and then I could just feel a sugar drop coming on. And so I got up and I walked over to my mom because I was trying to be like, hey, I'm not feeling well. And then I just sort of blacked for a second and started to fall. And she caught me. And that's when I woke up. And so it was basically the same as that experience. Try to get food in me, it doesn't really work. And I have to rest until I'm feeling better. So, yeah, I've had some experiences in my life feeling pretty not great. But when my mom had to completely do everything for me when I got the flu, that was the sickest that I have ever been, and I never want to achieve that again. But it seems like with college, it's a constant attack on my immune system. I'm actually just getting over a cold, and this cold took me out for a good 2 days of class. My body was not moving. I did not even leave my dorm for these 2 days. I was not really gonna go anywhere. Very minimal movement anywhere else. I just tried to rest, and my body didn't even wake me up through my alarms for class because I was gonna try my damnedest to go because missing college days is really difficult to make up for. But I was just so gone that my body wouldn't allow me to, and my boyfriend kind of took care of me. My current boyfriend, James Dunbar, subscribe to him for random videos. But yeah, he took care of me, gave me soup, and Now I'm starting to feel a lot better finally, and trying to make all these videos, including this one that's kind of gross, and I'm sorry. But yes. Also, my professors were very kind, and even though I emailed them late because I slept through their classes, I just kind of explained, like, I am so sick. My body didn't even wake me up, and I'm sorry, and I'll make up for all of this. And so it's fine. I've actually been spending a lot of today making up for what I missed out on, so I think that everything will be in order by the end of it all. Anyway, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more content, and feel free to leave any suggestions for what you'd like me to do in the future. Alright, I hope to see you in another video, and goodbye.